This is Ralph, and today we want to talk about how to ace your interview. Okay, one of the most important things about going to interview is being prepared. If you've listened to most of my lectures, you'll see that you'll know that I preach preparation. I preach preparation because when you prepared for something, it gives you a better chance of succeeding. Okay. 90% of the people who go to an interview are not prepared. They don't research the company, they don't research who's going to interview them, and they're not really prepared. So the 10% that usually get the job are the 10% that are really prepared for the job. Okay? So if you want to be among that 10% that gets the job, you have to be ready. Okay? The question is, how do you get ready? There's so many different kinds of interviews. Okay, sometimes after you send your resume in, the first thing that most companies will do is they have what they call a phone interview. And there's so many different types of interview. In our main lecture, if you watch our main lecture, you see how I took time and dissected, talked about all these things. But this is just a quick summary because a lot of people have been calling me and asking me to do a quick video for them on how, to ace your interview. So that's essentially what we're going to be talking about. So the first thing you want to do is when you send your resume out, one of the things, most companies will call you or write you a letter. But traditionally, most companies will call you. Somebody will call you and say, hello, how you doing? I'm from this company, and do you have time? Let's talk a little bit before. So essentially what they're trying to do is they've seen your resume, and your resume is close to what they want. So what they want to know now is they want to access you through the phone. So what you want to be, the first thing you want to do is, if you don't have the time, or if you're not ready, or if you get caught off guard, ask the person, I'm in the middle of something right now, can I please call you back? And majority of the time they will give you the number to call them back, or they will say, well, when can I call you back? And a lot of time, just tell them, call me back in an hour so I can clear my desk and get ready for the call. And so this 1 hour gives you a chance to collect yourself, be ready. And what they're trying to do in most of this time is to just ask you a few questions. They've seen your resume already, they know your qualification, they know what you can do, and they're trying to gauge your enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is so powerful in every single thing you do. Okay? Nobody wants somebody who's an antisocial or somebody who doesn't want to associate with people, and the way you talk, the way you come across helps so much, because they're going to ask you, okay, you say, hey, and when you answer the questions with some energy. Be energetic. Nobody wants to talk to people, oh yeah, okay, this is this, oh, what, No. Be very assertive. Be very, very positive in every single thing you do. Okay? If you don't know something, tell them straight out that I don't know it. I haven't experienced it. But ordinarily, all they're trying to do is find out if you can communicate. How well can you communicate? Okay? So have that in mind. And every single time you send a resume, always be prepared that you might get a phone call. So another note is that sometimes when they call you and you can't talk right away, they might not call you back because they're calling so many people. And if they run into somebody, they might be, say they're going to call 10 people, and you're one of those people who say they can't talk at the moment. So what's going to happen is that they might call you back or they might not call you back. Okay? So you get called for an interview, and they give you an interview date. Always make sure that you have at least 2 days to the day of the interview. That will give you a chance to research the company and prepare yourself. So what you want to do, as soon as they call you and give you an interview date, the next thing you want to do is either you go to your local library or you get on the internet. Pull up the company, research the company. When was the company formed? Is it a limited liability company? Is it personally owned? Who owns the company? What kind of products do they have? what kind of thought do they manufacture? Do they do business all over the world, or are they just local? And find out as much as you can about that company. That will give you legs up when you go to an interview. So as you get all this information, write it down. Okay. The next thing you want to do is find out who is going to be interviewing you. Okay. When you find out who's going to be interviewing you, their names, and you can Google them. Google whoever is going to interview. Google what do they like, what do they dislike, how long have they been working in that company, what are their specialty. See, the more you know about, the more information you have about the person that's going to be interviewing you, about the company, the better you're going to be. Okay? So, after you get all this information, the day before the interview, okay, most people like to go to the interview site so that they make sure they know where it is. And make sure, if you're going to an interview, make sure you get there an hour before the time. Very, very crucial. Make sure you get there an hour before the time. So, make sure you go there with your resume, at least 2 copies of your resume, all your letters of recommendation, your background check, your a copy, at least 2 or 3 copies of your driver's license, and any other information you feel like that they're going to need. Another thing you want to do is write about 2 or 3 questions that you want to ask, because in the heat of the interview they might ask you, do you have any questions for me? You say no. But when you ask questions, that means that you're into the conversation and everything. Another thing I want to say is also remember that the interviewer, the company wants you as much as you want them. Okay? So don't be afraid, be respectful, but never be afraid. Okay? So the next thing what you do the day before the interview, go through your notes, make sure everything is done. Make sure you've read through the note at least 3, I'll say a minimum of about 4 to 5 times. Go through the whole notes. Okay? If you can, there's cell phone everywhere. If you can have somebody ask you some questions and videotape yourself so that you know how you answer you can practice answering some certain questions. One of the major questions that every interview asks is, tell me about yourself. Make sure you answer this question very well, telling you don't have to go back and start telling the story of when you were born or anything like that. So you hit the point, and the most important thing in an interview is they have a problem. So what you want to gauge in the interview is, what is the problem that they have? Already, if you did your research very well, you know that the problem that they have is what they want you to solve. And so prepare yourself to be able to say, well, this is the problem you have. From my research, this is the problem you have. I can solve that problem. Okay? I can solve the problem. That's the key. Answer the questions very well. I can solve the problem. So when you walk into an interview, probably 30 minutes or an hour before the time, as soon as you walk into the building, the interview starts when you park your car. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know if it's the president of the company that you work across. So be very, very positive. Be very, very enthusiastic. So every person you meet, say hello, how you doing? When you get up there, introduce yourself, how you doing? And what you want to do is take all the papers, all the notes that you made to that place, so that if you're sitting down, you can go over those notes and try to relax as much as possible. Okay? When you relax, when you get called, look the person who is interviewing you in the eye. Don't hide your face, because when you put your face down, it shows that you are hiding something. Okay? Shake hands firmly, but not crushing. Have all your papers out. And as they ask you the question, just try to be as relaxed as possible. When they ask you the question, the difference is going to be in your research. If you did your research very well and you know so much about the company, and when you start to talk, whoever is interviewing you will know that you know your stuff, that you've done your research. And with that, I can guarantee you, as soon as the person knows that you know so much about this company, you've done your research, your value just goes up. And sometimes after that, it becomes a normal conversation. Treat it like a normal conversation. Don't be sweating but make sure that you dress professionally. Now, if you did your research well, you will know that in some companies, when you go to an interview, you can put on a suit and a tie. And some interviews, you just want to put on a slack, a nice shirt, but dress nice and neat. Make sure you polish your shoe. And if you have tattoos, make sure you have something covering the tattoos. And just groom your hair very well. And just be nice and neat. You don't have to overdress. Just be nice and neat and professional. So, have a normal conversation. And I guarantee you, if you do this at the end, ask them questions. And, while you're having your interviews, every single research that you've done, I guarantee you will come out. From the questions they ask you, you'll be answering the questions in such a way that it will impress them. And what everybody wants to know is, this is the way I hire tons of people, and this is the way I look at it. If somebody comes into my office and I'm interviewing the person, and the person starts talking to me about the company, it shows me that they've done their research. Now, it's a psychological thing. I know that, hey, if this person can take out time, learn about the company before they come, hey, that's a big plus. And these are the things. So if you do these things in a nutshell, prepare yourself very well, it's hard for you not to get a job. It's very, very hard for you not to get a job. And be very, very polite. Even if at the end, that's for another video anyway. But if you do these things, prepare yourself very well, research the company, and be proactive in everything you do. Be enthusiastic. If you do these things, I guarantee you, you will ace that. Okay? All right, thank you.